I've been on Zoom a lot actually because I'm sober. So we were doing the whole like AA community moved online. So
Oh,
I've been on Zoom every single day since this whole thing kind of went down.
how frequently are they doing something?
I mean, there's like literally 500 meetings a day right now. I
Whoa.
mean, in LA, we have a lot of meetings anyway. So that's why there's a lot of sober people in LA. There's a couple of hot spots that's where a lot of recovery houses are because the weather and
Right.
it's
Right.
healthier lifestyle out here. So, we are lucky to live in Southern California where you have a meeting like all day long anyway. So all
Yeah.
those have gone online and it's like this huge thing. And
That's kind of
it's,
cool. That's good that they
it's
could
been
still
pretty
provide
interesting.
support.
Yeah, it is. It's really great to have like a support system and to be able to just kind of like be at home. It's interesting.
Right.
After all of this, we're going to realize how there's a lot of stuff that can be done from home, honestly, you know?
Yeah. I mean, everyone kind of doesn't have a choice now, but it sucks that like a lot of businesses had to kind of shut down. But for the most part, I mean, I know a lot of people that are able to take their work and just do everything digitally for the most part.
I feel like tragedy necessitates growth. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where like anytime that there's something crazy that happens, then like there's always this like big boom of growth in
Yeah.
history. So
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of the things that we're going to see now is just like people. I mean, it's crazy. Like, I feel like even though we're all separated and quarantined, like I feel like people are connecting at a mass level that we've never seen before with
Right.
technology, because people always still had their lives,
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like those of us who are really plugged in are sort of ahead of the curve, because I do most of my business on, like most of my interacting and my networking and everything is done online. So I've actually been really busy the last week and a half.
Yeah. Same. Same.
It's been interesting, like I've been asked to stream for a bunch of people. I streamed last night and I'm working on all these projects and it's just crazy because it's like, because I already have this like sort of online thing, I'm cool. It really makes me worry about artists that aren't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to ask about the streaming online. Like, are there any issues that DJs can run into? Because obviously, when you're playing stuff at a show, it's a little different because you go on, you play your set, and you get off. But when you're doing it online, it's a little different because I mean, as you know, I'm sure copywriting and all that stuff has that caused a lot of issues for you, or?
I mean, everybody's moved to Twitch.
Mm,
I
okay.
honestly, like, I have my whole setup back here. Like, I have all of it.
Yeah.
I've been on several platforms, but they were apps that were integrated. And like, I worked on this one Sonic Box a few years ago, and they had like Beverly Hills, but we had to like contact artists to get the okay to play their music.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we could get in trouble. And it was like this big thing. And
Jeez.
honestly, like, I feel like it's 2020. Streaming has been around for at least half a decade now, if not more. Like, this problem should have already been handled. This sort of like missing link between the majors and the DJs, because like
Yeah.
I'm a DJ, but I'm also a label owner. So I'm weird in the sense that I'm like, if somebody was to play my stuff, it's like, cool. Would I like to get those streams? Yes, I would like to get those streams.
Yeah.
And I think that like Pioneer and, like I know SoundCloud and Beatport are now doing their integrated streaming. I think those are great concepts. I don't know if the technology is quite there yet, but I do think that like, I know that there's this company Dubset. I actually met the president at NAMM a couple years ago, and like what they're trying to do is really awesome, because
What
what
is
they're
it
trying
called?
to do, it's called Dubset.
Dubset.
Have
Okay.
you ever heard of them?
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to create a link between the labels and the the
The
club.
plays. Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, like even if there was like some box that was connected to every hardware or something within every piece of hardware that you could add and be like, put a code into YouTube or whatever. Listen, I've
Yeah.
got this box. It's tracking what I'm playing. So these artists will still
Mm.
get their streams, right?
That's actually
Because
kind of genius. I never thought
yeah, like there
to
needs to be some sort of something built
yeah.
so that like, and make it really easy, like a $9.99 a month, like Spotify for DJs. Like you buy the box, $9.99 a month. Anything you play in your sets
filters
is like
through there.
Filters through that,
Filters
and
through
then
that.
the artist gets their plays.
So is it more that they're aiming for the plays to come directly under the artist, or is it because, you know, we produce this track, we play it ourselves, and if you're not going to pay us to play it, then that's what the issue is? Or is it, you think, just because of the streaming?
It's the majors trying to get every single cent out of music when there's no money in music anymore. Like you don't start a label nowadays because you want to make money making music. Like the actual music itself is not a viable source of income anymore.
Right.
Like
it's the gigs and getting paid for shows.
Yeah,
and,
it's the shows and playing them. And although if a track gets played in clubs a lot, then you know that's a, you know, there's a difference between the stuff you hear on the radio and the stuff that you hear, the club bangers, if you will.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I feel like we as a community, this needs to get handled, and it needs to get handled now. It needed to get handled 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But I feel like even more so, this is something that needs to get handled now, because yeah, you can stream, but then like on Twitch, like they don't show your replay. So after your stream, like nobody can hear your set.
Yeah.
On
YouTube, it kills the feed. Like once it's done, there's no tracking it. Is that done on purpose?
Okay.
Okay.
So there's not even really like, at least that's my understanding of it. I might be wrong because I'm still new to Twitch. For Facebook, as you know, they just mute you.
Immediately. Yeah, immediately.
Yeah, you know, like
same with Instagram.
Yeah, and YouTube, which is really weird to me, because I see people like, you know, who was it, the DJ that was doing, hip hop DJ that did like 4 days of streaming on Instagram? It was DJ. I can't remember who it was.
No,
it was trending on Twitter. I'm drawing a blank, but DJ Vice was spinning last night, you know, like for a long time. And it's like, what's the difference? How did those people, but the little guys, it's funny, there was this Billboard article that I read yesterday that said that now the big guys, they're going to have control of everything. All these smaller people, we're really going to have to sort of fight tooth and nail to sort of bring it up, you know?
I actually, that idea is, I would never think to be able to track it that way, or if there's some way to like do the internal technology in your, I guess, in your CDJ, in your computer, in something that filters it to where it's directing the stream. But I mean, that's like a whole technology that someone would have to build, but that's not a bad idea. I think they don't care themselves to do that for everybody else, because they're like, we'll just cut the copyright, we'll cut their feeds. If they're going to play our stuff without, like, we don't need to worry about it. We're just going to not allow them to do so.
Yeah. And I think it's pure laziness on the head of like the big conglomerate, the three big ones, right? Because you guys are missing out on revenue. Like everyone's missing out on revenue. Like in the UK, they have SoundScan. We don't have anything like that here. Like it really, I feel like this might hopefully necessitate a reason to, like, you know, for us to figure it all out, because is
it an issue? Is it something that you like now that everyone is kind of having to stream? Is that a common thing that you're seeing where people are starting to look at each other like, hey man, well, I'm playing a live set, but I can't even get the tracks that I want to off because I'm getting cut off?
I mean, a lot of people are just YOLOing it. They don't even care. And then like it gets taken down like halfway through, you know?
Gotcha. Well, I mean, what are they going to do? Have to filter out? Like, there's probably not too many songs that they can create a whole set without wanting to really pick something that's copyrighted.
And even then, for instance, like I just had a thing with my distribution where I didn't even realize it, but because I'm not really active on our YouTube, on our label's YouTube, and my assistant Sean was like, hey, we got 2 copyright slams from our own distribution.
Oh, wow. At least they're on it. They know they're on it. Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, wait. And so I had to get a hold of my dear friend, Thomas Garcia, who you know.
Right.
And I was like, Tommy, what is he? He's like, oh, you need to send us the links, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh,
that's funny. They burned themselves.
I had no idea. But if you get 3, you're done. So it's like, I feel like this is something that I get it. Like, I know some people that own labels who are just like, absolutely not. I don't want my music played without me getting paid for it. Well, I'm like, listen, it's like 0.0003 cents
per play.
Per play.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
yeah, I would rather have a group of people hear my music than get the 3 cents at this
Right.
point.
Yeah. Just play it.
You
And
know?
don't worry about stressing too much about it. Just get it out
Yeah.
there so that it can spread. Yeah, I understand. I can feel that. So your label's third virtue.
Yes.
So it's on the tip of my tongue. Third Virtue Records. How long have you been doing that compared to the DJing?
I've been DJing seriously. I started off in like the late 90s. When I was 14, my first job was in radio. And I was
Nice.
on a morning show when I was like 18. And then I partied for a really long time. Went to audio school, partied some more, got a job here and there in post and then partied some more. You know,
I'm
I was
seeing a common denominator
dancer
here.
girl. Yeah, exactly. So in 2012, when I got sober, I was like, well, what do I really want to do? And music was the only thing I'd ever really wanted to do. And I said, you know what, I'm going to go for it. And if when I'm 40,
Okay.
nothing's going on with it, then I'll go back to school for something like coding, right? Whatever, something to make money. And I started my label at 42 years ago. So, I mean, I guess you could say it's going
working.
good.
Yeah, it's going well.
But see, once again, tragedy necessitates growth. Like the reason that I started my label was I had like a situation with my first couple of releases with this person, this male in the industry. And we had a huge like blowing out over political differences. And, you know, as you know, me on TikTok, I'm like super, super like feminist, you know.
Yes,
like
I have noticed.
But to put that out there, I'm not like, I have to preface that I'm not like your like swerve feminist. Like I'm very much all inclusive feminism. Like, and I feel like men
break it down for me.
Need a safe place too. You know, men and women both need to be able to feel safe, right?
Right.
So when that happened, I was like, well, how hard would it be to self-release? At that point, I was just like, you know what, forget this. I'm never gonna release with the label again. I'm just gonna self-release. And then I started researching it, and I was like, oh wait, like this isn't that hard. And then I was like, oh well, maybe I should start a label so that other chicks have a place to release.
That's good. I like that the motivation is just to kind of help support others.
Yeah, like for me, it isn't even about like, I mean, yeah, it's cool to be able to just release my own stuff. Yeah. Honestly, I'm trying to shop. I have like 4 tracks in the can I need to send out. That's on my to-do list.
Get them out.
I have to do now. And to get them signed to other places, because that as an artist is how you grow. But for me, I just want to give a platform for women and minorities and LGBTQ. And now I'm also, another person you've had on your show is Noir da Costa, who's a good friend of mine. I'm now helping him build, and I'll be helping him do an A&R for the Artificial People label. So that's one of the things I'm doing during this downtime. We're going to get that all set up and on board, and then he'll be releasing. So like, it's all about bringing like, I want to say marginalized, but as a white female, I'm not that marginalized compared.
Yeah, but I get where you're going with it. Yeah. I get
but I want to give people who aren't your typical Calvin Harris, all respect to him, I love him, or, you know, who's another one, Armin van Buuren, you know. Yeah, you know, like the blonde hair and blue eyed, you know. Yeah, like I want to give like.
That's fair. I mean, I think living in Southern California and where do you live? What city do you live in?
I live in the Valley.
In the Valley. Okay. So, I mean, Southern California, like you do have the ability to have enough people to reach out and put that out to that will end up kind of going along with what you're trying to do for them. Yeah. Yeah,
of course, you know, and it's definitely been a learning process. Like I have not done it perfectly. I'm still learning every day.
Yeah.
It's just, and you know, honestly, like the first year was really hard. And then this last year, things sort of, I think finally people started going, oh, like she does have altruistic reasons for doing this, you know? Because for me, it's not even about, I literally, it's funny, I would not be as like stressed out about this whole shutdown if I'd saved last year, because I had a good year financially last year.
Yeah.
But I literally put so much money into the label, and it was like, I was talking to my sponsor, and I'm like, God, I feel so. She's like, don't beat yourself up about it. Like, at least your label's where it needs to be, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like I just want to start a movement, you know? I want to start this like thing for women to like, just because here's the thing, we are taught to fight against each other in society. Like, it's very much like there's a lot of cattiness. I've even in the last year had to check myself in a couple situations with women that are female producer DJs that I was realizing I was being catty towards. And it's like, you need to if you're going to walk the walk, talk the talk, walk the walk, right? And so it's like, it's just ingrained behaviors, you know, like we just as women need to learn to love each other and to realize that there's enough for everybody. Yeah. There's enough to go around.
I don't think there is ever a call for everyone to get along, but to at least like give each other a little more space to be able to. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you've seen how the pandemic, I guess they're calling it, so to speak, with COVID, is kind of shaping festival and nightclub industry. So with having a label and DJing yourself, what do you like? Where do you see the shift? I don't think it's gonna stay like this forever. I don't think people are gonna be doing live stream and streaming festivals, you know, in 6-7 months, hopefully. But do you think it can pick back up to where everyone is automatically back to standing next to each other like this in festivals, or is it going to kind of hinder it for a while?
Here's the thing. This is where nightclub industry has been going for a while, honestly.
Virtually, you mean?
Virtually, yeah. And I'm going to explain why, and I'll probably get a lot of flack for this. The festival bottle popping industry is not sustainable in the economy that we have right now. It hasn't been for a couple of years. The fact that you have to do layaway plans for festivals is an example. Right. I support all the festivals. I want them to do well. I'm saying that in the most grateful for the scene way possible. But for your average end user, especially after all this has happened, it's not going to be as sustainable for a while. And with the advent of VR, when I went to ADE this last year, I kept trying to go to all these VR talks and I kept missing them. That's the future. To be able to sit at home, not drive and possibly get a DUI for people to drink, not spend a bunch of money on a table, so just so you have a place to sit, or coat check if you're in the Midwest, or Uber, or I mean, if financially it's going to do two things, which we're already seeing it. Underground. Right. The underground is popping in Southern California, right? Yep. All these undergrounds are just like, you know, 10, 15 bucks.
They're holding their ground with big clubs, because I've been to underground parties that are, you know, let's say 15 to 20 bucks, but there are 2,000 people there, just like it is. So it's like it's not, I mean, I wouldn't say like a mini festival, but I think the underground in let's say Los Angeles specifically is almost as popular, if not maybe a little bit more popular and in depth and in tune with the industry than the big guys are.
It switched probably around like 2018. Everything sort of went from bottle popping to whoop. And that's literally like, when you think about it, it's in the last 4 years, because people can't afford all of that anymore. Right. You know, like I remember when I first moved to LA 15 years ago, and it was all about, you know, I would spend $100 on an outfit, $200 on an outfit, go out to Hollywood Boulevard, get a table. You know, it was probably
the classics.
$1,000 a weekend.
Yeah.
You know, now people are doing layaway plans for a couple grand on a festival twice a year. Like that just tells you monetarily where we're at, you know? So I think since 2008, honestly, is when it's been sort of happening. I've been, like I said, involved in streaming for a while, and you see this, like I was part of this, it started in 2011, actually, before I became a DJ. It kind of was this community that sort of made me decide to definitely take the DJing serious. When I was bottoming at the very end of my addiction, I was on this site called turntable.fm. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
I'm not familiar, no.
And all it is, and now everybody had moved to this other one, plug.dj, and they shut down and now they're open again. I actually kind of, now that I say it, I need to go check them out and see if anybody's in there. But a label came out of there. It's lo-fi. I love lo-fi. Eventually I'm going to do a lo-fi project. They did festivals. My friend Drake did festivals with like 1,000 kids with little avatars in a little.
Oh yeah, I've seen those. I saw that.
Chat.
Yeah. That's right.
We shut down the server turntable.fm one time.
So that works.
Overflow.
I feel like the struggle that a lot of people, let's say like the promoters, if I'm saying it on my end, is monetizing something that you are doing online, because it's easy to say like, hey, you know, $15-20 ticket, they have to come out of their house, they have to go to a location, hey, here's the money so I can get in. But if you're doing it from the comfort of your own home, I feel like a lot of people can just pay second mind to, hey, there's a festival going on online, but I'm at home, so I'm going to cook and watch, you know, maybe something else and just have it on. But if I have to pay for it, maybe I can find a stream of a different artist who's doing it for free. So there's definitely like,
I definitely think that right now, because there's so much going on, that's definitely the case.
Yeah.
But like I did get to go to one VR talk in Amsterdam, and it was the guys who threw the rave with Marshmallow in Fortnite.
Yeah, that's the one that I remember seeing.
And each of those kids paid $15 for the skin.
That's cool.
You know, so
that's a good idea.
Yeah, so like it's that's how they monetized it. You know, was okay if, or you know, you want to chat, you can come in and you can view for free, but if you want to chat, $5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like some sort of like incentive for interaction. And honestly, I feel like eventually that's how it's gonna go. You know, like in 20 years, no one's gonna be leaving that. We're not gonna really have a reason to leave our houses like that. You know?
Yeah.
Except for the undergrounds. The undergrounds, I think, will be fine. But I also think that this will be a viable thing. And I think that the streaming to people worldwide, like I've done a couple of things with the Shout Drive guys. And like those guys stream to all the platforms. And to be able to take and pop down a streaming service and stream everywhere a show and create other opportunities for income outside of the actual event, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's like a virtual festival.
Yeah, I feel like this is what we're going to see in the next like 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, with something like this, like with what's going on right now, I do think people are kind of spooked, and people are already kind of, you hear someone cough at the end of the hall and you get like, you know, weird about it. So when the dust settles, let's say everybody does get back to the way things were, it's like a scar. It's still going to be there. Like when you getting in like a big space with a lot of people, people aren't going to be as comfortable. And I think, I mean, I like that how they did with, it was like $15.99 for a skin, and you get to like access it through the game, something like that. Yeah, I don't know where it's going to go. Again, the underground is still going to be the underground. I think it's people are still going to come out. They're going to party all night. They're going to get back to, I don't care at this point, whatever. But the clubs that kind of had where before that turn came, they're just recycling people who don't understand the industry, the music, the fact that how much everything's going into it, but they're targeting people who have money and don't care. And like, hey, we're just going out to get wasted. Come and we'll host you guys.
Yeah, and I mean, dance music especially is sort of blowing up in the United States finally, you know? And I think that what we're seeing is a return to its roots, kind of, you know, because kids are, as much as the last 10 years has been all about image and ego. And like, for instance, Instagram versus TikTok right now, you know? TikTok is so still organic, and all the kids are on TikTok because it's way more organic, you know? It's way more interactive, and now all the influencers on there, and they're kind of ruining it in my own opinion. But like for a minute there, it was like super cool. It was like, hey, like something we different. All get to just be on here and have fun and create art.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's my younger brother's like generation of social media that just came out, as this whole TikTok. Because when it first came out, even for me, I saw it and I was like, all right, not interested. And now it's blown up and it's become like a video editing. So all the people, the YouTubers and social media, that's like where it's at. But it like skipped me in my generation, I feel like, entirely.
I love TikTok. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big proponent of social media. Like people always ask me like, well, how do you get these gigs? How do you get these jobs? Like I'm very, as you know, active. I'm very present on social media. Right. And it's one of those things where it's like, as an artist, this is the other thing that's going to happen. The outliers who are like, oh, I'm all about the music, fuck social media, excuse my language, you know, oh, like you're fake because you have Instagram, you know, you're doing pictures, you're doing this, you know. I know you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, those guys, the old heads, right? And I'm old. I'm 42. I'm like, you guys are missing the whole point, man. You're missing a chance to bring your art to people who actually care.
Yeah, it's just
You
hard
know?
to kind of split it when you're on social media and you have people who are targeting and using it the right way for promotion and marketing and getting themselves out there, and then people who are on there and they provide no substance.
Here's the thing, like, I'm friends with a gang of Instagram models, like the girls with everything out, right?
Yeah, sure.
I stand for them, man. Those are my girls. Like, if I was cute enough, I might be doing OnlyFans right now, no lie. Because
That's
here's why.
probably on fire right now.
What is it is like, literally
Yeah.
my friend is banking right now. I'm like,
Got
dang
it.
girl. Like, you know what I mean? And I made a joke about it the other day, but I don't have the guts. But it's one of those things where I'm like, value is subjective,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
What I find valuable on social media isn't what somebody else finds valuable on social media.
Right.
So, and I say this to these old heads all the time, like, if you don't like something, just don't follow
Don't
it. And
participate,
the
yeah.
algorithms of every platform will give you more of what you actually like.
Right.
I like animals and food and music.
That's what pops up, just puppies.
That's what pops up, you know? Like, my Instagram is all girls with booties because those are all my friends.
Right,
You know?
right. It's who you target and how you kind of choose to use it. Right.
Yeah, exactly, man. And like, I think that, you know, people get so freaked out and the algorithms and, you know, of course the guy who owns the app wants to figure out how to monetize it, you know?
Yeah.
How do you
Probably
monetize
is.
social interaction?
The amount of active users. So if TikTok has 1 million people using it at once, their analytics just shows, and they somehow, I'm not sure exactly, but I'm pretty sure that's how it is. It's just the active users, they get paid off of that.
No, seriously, like, when I'm active, I'll get like I just checked today. I did a video and it got 1,000 views. I'm not getting that on Instagram.
Yeah,
I have a view on there. So I talk a lot of crap on TikTok about relationships and dating because I'm single, right?
Okay.
So my whole thing is like, my whole shtick is just pure comedy, right? Because I noticed that like the music stuff is like cool and all, but it's like there's so much. It doesn't really, it doesn't filter
resonate,
really unless you're a singer-songwriter, right? And so, like, for me, I just like crack jokes on there, and then like I have one that has 90,000 views, and it's literally just about me. I'm like, literally, this is the TikTok that has 90,000 views.
Okay.
It's me with bad lighting saying, you know what, maybe I should give up the dream of having a guy my age who likes to travel and has no kids and just become a cougar.
90,000 views, that'll get it, because all those people on there.
Views. Like, that's, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, it's,
yeah.
You know, like, it's you have to go where as an artist, like, do you think Da Vinci would have just,
Damn, Da Vinci, I like that.
would have stayed at home, you know?
I have
like,
no idea what his status was, but
maybe
probably
not Da Vinci, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I get
guys were out in front of, like, especially like old school artists, like the courts brought them to court to make art.
Mm-hmm,
You know what I mean? That's what social media is now. You know?
Do you feel like times like this where, I mean, people do have access to, let's say, an app that they can create videos and stuff, but as far as like producers and DJs having to kind of be forced to stay home, do you think that can kind of help with the creative process or hurt it? Because I feel like day 14, 15 of an artist, you know, being secluded and choosing to not go out, and their brains kind of be like everywhere else but producing.
I never go out.
Okay.
Ever.
So you're used to it already.
I'm used to this personally, but I do have friends who like normally don't force themselves to stay home and create.
Right.
Like, I force myself to stay home and create because for me, my view is that, at least the way I view the industry, is that as a DJ producer, like, if you don't have music out, you're not going to eventually make money playing gigs.
Correct.
And these guys that are getting paid a lot of money to play have been producing for 10 years.
Yeah.
I've been producing for 4 years.
4.
So I need to do the work. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I need to do the work, right? So it's one of those things where I feel like what's happening is it's making producers who are really talented and aren't very good at time management forced to sit down.
Right. I
and
agree
create, you know? hopefully some really great stuff will come out of some people that I really think have potential, you know?
Yeah. I mean, in most cases, even with something, again, when you were saying tragedy brings, sorry, finish the quote for me. What was it?
Tragedy necessitates growth.
Necessitates growth. So people who are, again, having to be forced to stay in, I mean, even after the first economic, disaster in 2008, or not the first, but the last one to happen, Uber, what came about, there were just invention after invention. So hopefully, who knows, after this, maybe some new producer that nobody's ever heard of spent the last, month and a half at home making music, and it's, what everybody has been looking for, so to speak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I feel like as scary as this is, because believe me, my bank account is scared right now,
Sure.
as I'm sure everyone's is.
Right.
I'm like doing my taxes, like,
Right.
filing for unemployment, like the whole thing. At the same time, one, the powers that be are not going to let it get that bad, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree.
They don't want us to fail, because then the rich people don't make money, right? And then two, this is really, I'm trying to stay positive that this is just a chance to create. Like, I've already finished 2 songs. I'm working on a third, and I started another. Like, I try to have like 4 to 5 in rotation at all times so I don't get bored.
Nice.
But for me, I'm just really like, okay, let's get music done. Let's work. Let's stream. Next weekend, I streamed last night. Next weekend, I'm streaming for a festival in the UK.
Nice. So they just host a server, and they're having you join in on a link.
They host the channel, and then we sign into the channel, and nice. We're on their channel. That's what we did with the Loving Our Ladies, which was a show I was supposed to do at South by Southwest 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So we just took it online, and it was amazing. It was a bunch of chick producer DJs. They were amazing yesterday. Yeah. All these little girls from Austin, and I was supposed to play out there, and then it didn't happen because of the lockdown.
Right. Well, that's good. I like the idea that people are really becoming super active with it. I just hope it is worth it in the long run, because doing this this is also something that may not be sustainable for people to host festivals and big shows and get names and do everything if they're not getting anything out of it, as a host. But
well, I also feel like this is a chance for some of you, like you guys could totally do an online festival and have all the local acts come in,
right.
and do your thing. And it's like you just continuously do that. Like the Space Taco guys, they've been doing it every Tuesday for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Every Tuesday night, I love those boys. You know what I mean? So like, it's just about consistency. Dave Dresden has streamed every single night of the quarantine. Damn. He's on like day 7 or 8 today.
He just hasn't stopped.
I know, he doesn't stop. And he doesn't, it's not even like high quality. Like, it's just him in his living room, and his kid is there. Like, I love Dave. I've known him for years, and I'm just like, it's just like, like that's what it's about. Like, and he just continuously does it. And last night there was the Beatport party and the Insomniac party, and he had like 700 people in his room.
Damn, I haven't seen like any of these. I see everybody finding all these streams and festivals and stuff. I haven't caught a single one. So Twitch is, I thought initially that was for like a gaming, but now
it is.
Okay.
For a while they were doing music, and then I think they sort of like, they actually have on their like website, I think I posted about it the other day. I was like, this bullshit. Like, this should have been figured out already, because they posted the same thing, you copyright, blah, 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 crap. And I was like, but then like everybody started jumping onto Twitch, and I was like, oh, that's where everyone's streaming, because it's really easy. Like I'm streaming from my phone.
Is it a website or is it an app?
It's an app and a website.
App and a website. Okay.
So and like the program that you could do, like when I was streaming for Sonic Box, we used OBS. It's this really cool like video and audio integration tool that you can stream to all the platforms. And so you could do OBS and do some really cool stuff with it. But I mean, I'm just doing it with my phone.
That's awesome.
It looks great.
I like that. Everyone's active, and that's great. But let's say to take it back to you, when you said that you did radio back in the day, was that your integration into like pretty much everything that became bubble wrap, or was that?
Yeah. I always had wanted, like in high school, I was voted most likely to be a radio DJ.
Well, there you go. You kind of nailed it. Hit it on the head.
Like literally, I always was like in grade school, I did a a science project about sound waves.
Oh,
Like
nice.
I've always been,
It's
it's
innate.
always been a thing. My parents weren't very supportive of it. I no longer have a relationship with them due to other stuff, but they, for a really long time, like I just was kind of sort of like I'm literally learning where most kids do at 2021. You know what I
Right.
mean? I'm
Right.
learning how to produce, learning theory, learning all these things in the last 5 years in my late 30s, early 40s, you know?
Right.
So it's kind of been a learning curve. But the difference between, I think, maybe having done all of it when I was younger and now is the fact that I'm super hyper focused on it.
Yeah, you see it
You
differently
know,
because you had the experience when you were young, and as you grow up. I mean, it's the same with me with skateboarding. When I first started skateboarding, the knowledge I have now, it's like I think about it differently. You go about it differently. You work differently with it. Yeah, it's the experience that kind of helps you out.
yeah. And I got my partying out of the way. One of the things that I see a lot in this industry, being a self-proclaimed old head, if you will, is that I see a lot of kids who are super, super talented, even people in their early 30s who are super talented and are so busy focusing on the party that they don't focus on the actual music or the business. And it's like, sometimes I want to shake them, but I realize it's
Yeah.
between them and whatever their higher power,
Yep.
universe, whatever is. And it's just like, it's like, I'm really grateful that I waited to this juncture in my life on one end,
Yeah.
because I know that I'm like, I don't have any distractions, you know, like I have a cat, I don't have a relationship, I don't
Yeah.
you know, music is pretty much it, you know, music and work, like that's
Yeah.
pretty straight off the board. But when your job is to play music for people or to make music for people, that's my fun, you know what I mean?
I think the partying for them comes with a bit of already like a subconscious know that they're not really trying to do too much with what they're doing. They're DJing, they love it. They're trying to be as big as they can, but they're not expecting to, like, you know, so they focus on the partying a lot. And
I think that a lot of people get into DJing for the wrong reason. And I think that's the other silver lining to this, is that those people that are in it just for the image and don't want to do the work are going to fall off right now, you know?
oh yeah,
Like,
for sure. I wanted to
big
add big time. Yeah, well, I hope in like this time where people aren't around other people and they're not handing each other stuff, and then do you think people are kind of more susceptible to still party as hard from home with the streams and stuff? Like
man,
I would feel no, right?
no, it's the opposite. Like, and I've known this the whole time. Like, I used to sit at home, take pain pills, smoke a bowl, chug some Maker's Mark, and get on turntable and just zone out and be like,
Right.
hey, hitting the bowl, everybody hit the bowl, like, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like that's.
That's so it comes with the territory, regardless of whether or not they're actually going to something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of people that are still hanging out and doing house parties and stuff. And I'm like, you guys, the longer you do this, the longer this
The
is going to
longer,
last.
exactly. I don't know if it's because it's too high of a population or they're not putting strict enough measures. I mean, everyone's already on lockdown, so you're supposed to only go out for essential groceries, oil change for some, you know, whatever, stuff like that. But there's too many people, and maybe not enough people are seeing it. Maybe people don't have access. I mean, you would think, I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. You would just hope that enough people are staying home to kind of curb it.
I think in the next week, once the numbers start really coming in,
People are
like,
going to scare themselves.
yeah, it's gonna get scary, man. My birthday is on Wednesday,
Oh,
and I'm
happy
like,
birthday.
well, by my birthday, everybody's gonna get April Fooled into this. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's not an April Fool's joke, you know.
My younger brother's turning 21 tomorrow, and he is so bummed out. He can't do anything. I know. But he's been partying for like the last couple of years. But it's like that 21st birthday, you're just really hyped for it, and it's kind of a moment that he can't do anything.
I saw on TikTok the funniest thing, that speaking of that there was this girl posted and she's like, it's my brother's 21st birthday and he can't go out because of the lockdown. So we created a club at home, and he like walks up
Sick.
to the door of the house and his dad is standing there and he's like, can I see your ID? And he looks at his ID and he goes, happy birthday. And he opens the door. He's
Perfect.
like, the bartender right there, and it's his mom behind a made up bar, and there's lights going, and she's like, "Hi, would you like a green tea shot?"
So they go all out in TikTok. They're making full like short films.
Amazing. I was like, I almost cried because it was so cute. I was like, dang.
I gotta try and do something for him. I don't know if I can do all that, but yeah, so something enough to kind of still celebrate, virtual shot or something.
Well, one of my friends had her silver anniversary, and we did a TikTok crazy hat party. Like,
so you can host like a party on TikTok? I thought it was just like you edit videos.
Or not on TikTok. I'm sorry, on Zoom.
On Zoom. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what we did is we just got a bunch of people together, and we all just like,
shot the shit
celebrated for an hour.
Yeah.
So that's another idea.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people that are doing, virtual hangouts, and I'm not sure if Zoom was an app that's been around for a while or if it just came right before. It has. Okay, so it's been
around for like 3 years.
They're like the app now, because I had a virtual same thing meeting where there was like 12 or 15 people and everyone's up at the same time. So the fact that they can host that is great, especially for things that are going on right now. Before social media, before technology was where it was now, if we would have been quarantined like this, people would have been fucking killing themselves with nothing to do. No streaming, no DJing, no anything. There's no way. I don't know how.
People would have been sending out mixtapes in the mail.
Yeah. Sending bird letters to each other and shit like that.
My love, it has been 575 hours
in Quill
since I've seen your face.
So one thing I actually wanted to ask you from the beginning is, where did bubble wrap come from? Where and why and how long? And don't stir your coffee out. Yeah.
I'm not legally allowed to divulge that information.
You're legally not allowed to say where that came from. I've never heard that before.
It was a lot of drugs in a party in the middle of Nebraska where I'm from.
Okay. And you just blurted out bubble wrap and you're like, I'm going with it.
Don't ask.
Okay. All right. You can tell me like off air or something where it's not.
No, I can't even.
Not
There's
at all?
a very select handful of people that know where the name comes from. And
that's cool. You add some mystery to it.
There may be some nudity involved. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, bubble wrap in the desert. Okay, I see what's happening.
We don't have deserts in Nebraska. We have cornfields.
Cornfields. Wow. I'm picturing like Jeepers Creepers.
It was kind of like that, only we used to do this thing where we would be in, like, my friend lived on a farm, so we would have like parties, like undergrounds out. Like literally, I would go to raves in the 90s in cornfields with like 2,000 kids.
Tight.
But we do this thing where we'd like run down the opposite rows of the cornfield, and we'd take boxes of glow sticks, and we'd take handfuls of glow sticks and throw them at each other.
The people that own those places probably hated you guys.
No, it was my friend's farm.
Oh, they were hosting it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You probably had to clean
up.
up.
Cookout and try to eat s'mores on Molly, and it was bad, all bad.
Yeah, we don't do that here in Southern California. We didn't have access to cornfields. It was just find your local underground.
It's kind of like I've been to desert parties. It's the same thing. It's just you're in, a barn.
Right. That sounds cool. That sounds fun. I've seen it in movies.
It is kind of cool.
I'll say that much. Well, is there anything we didn't touch on? Anything anyone you want to shout out? Anything? What's upcoming?
No, I have a track that just dropped. It's out on all platforms with this amazing vocalist Rosebud. I have another one coming out next month.
Are you releasing on Third Virtue or? Yeah,
I'm putting him out on my imprint just to I want to be releasing more. For any house people who fit my criteria, you just can't be a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white boy. No offense.
Not them. They stand no chance.
Yeah, I love white boys.
Hey.
That's usually my thing.
Okay.
But I don't. I want to keep it
right.
As stacked. Right now we're at like 90% roster.
Not that.
Probably 80% women. And so I'm taking demos right now. I really want to get as much music out this year for people as possible. I'll be streaming intermittently.
Yeah, I'm gonna check one out
Wednesday again, because I feel like nobody's streaming on Wednesday, so that's gonna be my day. Wednesday, I will stream again at 7 p.m.
Does it work like the regular nightlife hours, where like Tuesdays and Wednesdays aren't as busy as Fridays and Saturdays, or is everybody on pretty much Monday through Sunday?
Yeah, it's about the same, but my people kind of sort of come on. And what's really cool is the guys at EDM Identity, shout out to them. I love them so much. They put my Twitch channel on their streaming
Nice.
list. They have a master list on their website. So if you want to know who's streaming when, they sort of are on top of it, and
That's awesome.
they have it. You can look it up on their website.
Yeah, I love it. You can't stop the music. You can't stop the house music, the underground, the DJs. We're going to find one way to get our fix.
I mean, yeah, and we're going to stay connected.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, I feel like I'm actually more connected now because, like, before I'm running around doing this, doing that.
Yeah.
You know, day-to-day life, you know, you don't even realize how busy you get. And now I'm like, you know, I'm having 2-hour FaceTimes with people that I really care about. So
yeah. And 1 hour FaceTimes with people you've never met. Like me.
I know. I need to come out to one of your guys' parties. This needs to happen.
Yeah, once we're up and running again.
Yeah, I was going to come to the one, I believe Juliet played for you guys. And I was going to come to that one, but then I think I was sick that weekend. So
I'm glad you stayed home. Glad you stayed. Thank you.
I actually just got over. I think I have this thing. Like, I'm still got like this weird dry cough.
Yeah, I have a few friends that had like really bad flus that like pretty sure that that's what it was, and you just stayed home, rest, don't go out, take medicine, eat right, sweat it out, go to sleep, and you'll hopefully flush it out.
So this is week 4 for me.
Week 4. I'm on week 2 weeks and like 4 days or something.
Yeah,
nice. I like it. It's a nice change of pace, but I'm the active type, so I like to like be around people and hang out with friends and kind of do my stuff, but I'll sacrifice that for the safety.
You can FaceTime me anytime.
I will. Okay, I will. Noted. I appreciate your time. Thank you, Charity, so much.
Thank you so much. This was a blast.
Stay safe. My pleasure. Stay safe out there, and I will talk to you. I'll see you around, and thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you.
All right.